Hey guys, welcome to Heckin Tech Night. And the news music is way too loud, but we are here to bring you last week's news today here on Heckin Tech Night with Heckin. Nick hasn't arrived. Say hello.
Last week's previous news today. The most important news of them all. Yesterday's news.
And just in case you didn't believe us, here's some tech. There we go. Heckin Tech Night. Now, Nick, do you have some tech?
Fan!
Congratulations. Welcome to Heckin Tech Night, guys. The breaking news source for your worst news yesterday.
Today. Figure it out. You might have tripped over. We might have lost our host. The host might be gone. It's okay. It's my stream now. I'm going to talk about fans. They make movement of air. Okay, real subjects now. Actual real Tekken night Tekken. Okay. What are we going to talk about first? What is going to be our first topic?
How to untie this tie, because I don't know how to do it. I can't get it off. Just give me a second to die real quick.
I mean, you only have to pull, if it's done right, you only have to pull one string and the entire thing comes apart.
That works.
Good enough. Rocking the double T1s today, so we're going for the full soundstage experience today.
That's why we're streaming exclusively in mono.
All right, you only get the full experience inside of your head.
Well, thank you for tuning in to the beginning of Heckin Tech Night. I am VideoArcadeFilms, and he is Nick Has Arrived. And
I am the Nick.
And before we continue today, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Audiophile Snake Oil. See these cables? You can always spend more on them later at the end of the show.
I just unplugged my headphones to show you that I have a cable also. I can't hear you right now. Cable!
Yep. All right. So, breaking news. I was just playing a bunch of news music in the background. Give me a second. All right. So, what's happening in gaming? Well, a lot. And conveniently, a lot of our stories have nothing to do with gaming. So,
we have one specific one.
That's about it. Because I did not watch E3 at all.
The only reason why I'm talking about this one is because I am super hyped about it myself, and that's about
because
it.
That's all Nick does. He plays Sea of Thieves, and that's nothing else happens.
You're breaking the surprise. Oh, geez. Okay.
All right, but here's our biggest tech story of the day besides like E3 and stuff, but I have no idea. So chat will have to inform us there. But our big story for today is Microsoft is ending Windows 10 support on October 14th, 2025. And usually when Microsoft announces a retirement date for an operating system, that means a new one is coming, which is very odd because when they pitched Windows 10, they were saying, oh, we're just going to continually update it. And like, you'll never have to upgrade again. And it's just
this is the last version of Windows to be released.
And then they're just like,
exact
words. This is the last version of Windows. And it's just like, then they found out that they weren't making enough money because people just stopped buying Windows.
Well, it's like the only way that they could ever make that claim is if they made it towards a subscription, like you have to pay $5 a month for Windows or something.
which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the only way they could ever actually be able to do something like that.
Like,
And
and
there's just like,
I don't
no.
understand. Like, I wouldn't want that because, like, it makes it so like you literally have to pay a monthly fee just to use your computer, and that's BS.
Well, I imagine it would be different than what it would be, to where they would lock down certain features or something, where like they would force updates on you, and
Yeah, but when it
you would have
comes
control over programs or something. Yeah,
but when it comes to
that's all
OSs,
speculation though.
yeah, and but like say theoretically if that were the case, like it makes it so like we're in a day and age where being near a computer and doing stuff with a computer is a necessity. It is something that you have to have. And
Yes,
for
it
many
is.
people, buying the computer is enough of a price to drop on anything to begin with. Like if they started making it so they have to like pay like 5 a month to like just to use their OS, first of all that arises a bunch of different issues. First of all, it'll lead people to pirate it much more often. Also, second of all, a lot of businesses and a lot of machines will just use older versions of Windows so they don't have to pay the subscription fee and then wonder why all of their stuff is going to get hacked in five
No,
years.
it's
Like,
I guarantee business would work exactly the same, because the way business works is you pay for a license fee, and then you put it on all your machines. Then you pay already per year. That's the way Windows Enterprise works right now. Is you pay per year the number of machines that you have that license on. That's kind of
yeah,
the way Windows Enterprise already works,
I'm
and
talking about like,
it's like hundreds of dollars per machine. It's a lot of money.
and just one thing that like this brings up another issue is that like I see a lot of problems with like things that are like relating to money in terms of like computers because like a lot of like ATMs and a lot of like cashier systems like run super old versions of Windows. And I don't understand how their security has not been breached more than ever. Like literally at my
It's
last
because
job,
there's no system connected to the internet. It's all an internal LAN system. There's no external connection.
but
That's the
like
way it
with an
is.
ATM there sure is.
Uh,
Isn't there?
not kind of, maybe. The way that those work. Um, it, okay, yeah, I guess the ones at like normal malls would be
Like I
sort of
can't
like
like
that.
I don't understand how like I having a 20-year-old version of Windows on a computer that you use for your business just doesn't seem safe. Like if you think
No.
about it, like literally at my last job, which was basically Chipotle, but like not really. Um, if anybody's wondering, it's Qdoba, but it's not exactly a big thing over here in the Midwest. But as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I when we had to reboot our cashier systems, I want you to take a wild guess as to what OS that computer was running.
I would guess 98, because a lot of cashier systems ran on 98.
Well, it's a little bit better than what you're expecting. It's running Windows 2000.
2000s?
2000 of all OSs.
That's a really weird one, because 98 was a really common one for cashier systems.
At least it's not running like freaking Windows ME.
Oh,
uh,
Vista.
but yeah, back on our Windows story. Yeah, they're ending support in about 4.5 years, which means there have been many rumors, leaks, and speculations about Windows 11, and Microsoft has actually announced an event that's going to be happening.
So just to clarify on this, is this end of security support or end of updates?
I don't know. Let me double check here.
Because there's a big difference there between Windows. Because typically when they have a end of like update or end of security update, they already have a Windows version out for like 3 or 4 years at least. So I
Hmm.
imagine this is just the end of regular updates. And then they'll probably have something out a year or two before that.
This particular article doesn't seem to say anything about like if it's just full support or security updates. I'm sure they'll give security updates until after this date because like they're doing it with Windows 7. like until
Yeah.
2022 or
Well,
2021.
you have to pay for it for
Yeah,
those.
but
So
like they do have some sort of support for a lot of Windows 7 systems still. Windows 8 is just dead.
the one thing I don't understand is like, why are they making us go to Windows 11, which I imagine is going to be a virtual environment, where Windows 10 is already a virtual environment? You're already not running the actual OS that you're looking at. The desktop isn't the OS. That's a virtual environment on the operating system.
Mhm.
Why are they making us do the upgrade when they can just straight up put another OS, another operating system, well, virtual environment, I guess,
Like that's the
on
thing that doesn't
there
make any
instead
sense
of a
is that,
straight side grade? It's like, oh, you'd have both of them on your machine if
and
you
the
really
thing that
wanted
makes
to.
sense, the thing that doesn't, oh God.
Oh,
The thing that doesn't make sense is that like this is something that Microsoft could easily just include in another Windows 10 update, but they're choosing not to, so people have to pay for it.
yeah.
So,
Ugh.
as I was saying, they have a
Just,
Windows 11 event happening
you know what I would be
Thursday at
perfectly fine
11.
with? Make the normal version like Windows 11 Home or something. Like normal, like you pay $70, or it's gonna be $100 probably. Pay a
Yeah,
hundred
that's how
bucks
it
for,
always
right?
is.
Well, it was for Windows 8, it was like 80. Windows 10, it was like 110. This is probably gonna be more than that now. But let's just say $100, right?
Hmm.
Make Windows like 11 Pro, make it like $100, but then plus like $3 a month or something. That way they get their continuous flow. But then if you want those little extra features, it's only $3 a month, and then you can stop at whatever you want. And it's like, I would be fine with that.
Yeah, but
It's just
for me,
I don't want to keep upgrading Windows. It's so annoying.
it really is. Like you can't just stay with your computer. But the thing that makes me wary about that thought though is that like I'm not exactly a huge fan of making everything a subscription service, and there's a lot of crap that's subscription based already. And
Yeah.
I'm starting to see with a lot of people that like we have essentially
You
subscription
know
fatigue.
why I want that to happen though? Because then maybe Linux will actually be able to take over.
I
It's
wish I
like
knew how to
I
work
want
Linux actually.
I really want like a good Linux to come out, one that doesn't require command console to do the advanced, like I shouldn't say advanced, just normal installing of general like environments for apps and things like that. You have to run a command line for Linux. If they could figure out a way of just, well, I shouldn't say figure out a way because they already have it, but turn off
Just
some of those security features, limit them a little bit, put it out, and then actually
essentially
make it a
just make it
legitimate
more
one.
essentially make a
Like,
more streamlined version.
yeah, towards a legitimate actual release of
Yeah,
Linux.
I hope this does kind of push more people to go to Linux. I've always wanted to try Linux, but like I don't know the command line stuff.
It's a
So,
lot of research. It's totally different than Windows. You know, I like, for example, like ipconfig, right?
mhm.
To get your IPv4 and IPv6 address, your gateway, all that stuff, right? You just type it in on CMD on Windows, it pops up.
Mhm.
Now, on Linux, you have to go in, you have to run a command line that allows you to run that command, and then the command, you're like, oh, I'm used to Windows, I'll type it in, ipconfig. It's not ipconfig, it's ifconfig. Why is it ifconfig? It's just the little tiny things like that, where if they like just kind of copied what Windows have or has, they could really just explode into something.
Yeah, like just
So,
if they could like, just make it a little bit more user friendly.
yeah, exactly. Just something to where you go on the internet, you double click on an app, like, I don't know, I want to play, like, I want to download Steam. Click, 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 run, bam, it's installed, just like Windows. Because now instead you have to get it. After you get it, you have to run the sudo. You have to run sudo, which is admin. Oh, I have to run it as an admin, install it, go through all the process, make sure all you have the DirectX drivers installed. And after you get all that stuff done, you finally can get to the point that you're actually running stuff. So
Well, it
it's like,
looks like after all that, I'm gonna need some IQ config, am I right?
oh, there you go. IQ IQ config slash forget.
But yeah, let's go back to our Windows 11 story. But looks like the event is going to be happening June 24th at 11 a.m. So hey Nick, we
I'm
could
not
do we
excited.
could do a reaction stream as the stream's happening. Could do it.
Oh, that's Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday at 11.
Uh, how would that happen?
I don't know.
I would be at work, probably inside of a.
You have to do it
Um,
at work.
I don't think my supervisor would let me do that. Just gonna say, I
Ugh.
normally have more important things to do.
All right.
Not
So
always, but
here's this
normally.
image here of a Windows 11, like look at Windows 11. And I'm going to take a comparison that someone I follow on Twitter, he has a YouTube channel. His name is Quinn Nelson. He's part of Snazzy Labs. He is a Mac channel and like iPhone type guy. And he essentially said, it looks like Windows 10, but worse, but also like Mac. Like, let me see if I can actually find the actual thing he said here real quick. But Nick, how do you feel about this sort of desktop look?
I think I could get used to it as
Like,
long as it didn't break. I tell you the truth, I just want a stable version of Windows. I do not freaking care what it looks like.
yeah, and
Just make it stable. That's the only thing I really care about at this point.
the thing that sucks though is that like Windows isn't gonna be stable.
I know. That's
Yeah,
why
let
it
me.
kind of makes me okay. Let's just say if I had a choice between Windows 10 and Windows 11 from what I currently know right now, and they're both equally the same stability, right? Let's just say it's common ground. I'm just purely basing it off the way it looks. It would take me a long time to get used to Windows 11.
Mhm.
And tell you the truth, I do kind of like the way things are a little bit more modern looking. Almost looks like the same type of curves as like a phone on the apps and
Mhm.
all the pop-up stuff, the same animation type thing.
I do like
I
how
do
the
kind of
UI
like that.
works. I like how the UI looks, but like
Well,
I don't know if
pull
I
up the
could get
video
used to
while we're
this.
talking.
Yeah,
So that
we
way,
do have a little bit of footage here of kind of like setting up Windows 11 here, and let's see if we can kind of get that going. I'm gonna
just
put
so
it
it
in
can
double
show some of
speed.
the animation stuff. Because, like, see that type of stuff, that little tiny animation that it has, I actually like it.
Yeah, I put it in double speed here real quick, but like just like it looks like Windows 10, but like just a little bit of UIs. But like the thing is like
Mm.
this is extremely early. Things could change when they change the look of things. And like as you can see, a lot of the icons are way different. If you look at that, like the desktop, documents, downloads, music, like all that, that looks all different.
It's very different, yeah.
But the thing is like literally all we've seen from these are like leaks and like pictures of like leaked versions and all that, and like the Windows developer like beta preview isn't even out. So
No, it isn't. This is just leaked from. I don't even know
from
where from. It would have to be
leaked from
from the test
PS3
lab.
from freaking PS3 King with 3
Yes.
subscribers. Everybody,
Shout out.
let's go see what's on this guy's channel on a different
Oh
window.
no. Oh, be careful.
Yeah, there's a reason why I put it on a different window. Okay, everybody, go subscribe to PS3 King. He just has a bunch of random stuff about how to unlock all trophies on the PS3 and scrolling automatically fix and revisiting BO1. Is that Battlefield 1? No, that isn't. What is this? Something on the PS3.
BO1.
Looks like a bunch of PS3 stuff. So cool. But yeah,
BO.
Windows 11. And it looks like they're going to try and cram down more widgets and bad news down our throats.
Oh, that's one thing I really and just I'm
Like,
really hating
why?
is
Why do we need
okay.
this?
Yes, we are transitioning to how do we hate Windows more than Windows? because of Windows. That's
Yeah,
why we hate
like they keep
Windows.
trying to add all these widgets and stuff that doesn't matter just to make it look like it's modern and something that's like new. And like, in my opinion, I think they're trying to be more Mac-like, which I mean, it's not a bad thing if you like Mac, but like, you gotta like Mac in the beginning to enjoy it. I don't know. I've never used a Mac really except for one class, and I didn't exactly like it. But then again, I'm kind of biased. So, but
Yeah.
I did talk about the tweet that I quoted from Quinn Nelson. This is his actual tweet here. He says, "My excitement for Windows 11 has been, well, this looks like Windows 10, but slightly worse. The Mac continues to look more and more appealing to more people." Nice. Which, hey,
Yeah.
I can definitely get it. Like, and also they're revamping the Microsoft Store as if anybody used that to begin with.
I have never opened it on this machine.
I think I
I've
may have
never opened.
once, and I think it was for Spotify, and then I deleted Spotify.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's see.
I don't even know.
And here's what I'm thinking, and one thing that's rumored that kind of makes that I agree with is that this UI looks a lot like the rumored Windows 10X, which was supposed to like kind of debut on the Surface Neo, which is essentially the Surface Duo, the folding phone thing,
Yeah.
but like the bigger one. And they're kind of I feel like they were trying to focus more on like, ARM architecture and like, basically the whole theme of
Oh.
the entirety of this show essentially is that me and Nick saying that ARM computing is the future, which definitely, if you look at this, like, literally even like big brands like, is it Asus or Asus, I think it's Asus, but they're launching like new Chromebooks with like Ryzen processors and stuff. It's just like, this is the future. And I feel like
Yeah.
With Windows 11, they're going to start moving towards that being a reality, which I mean
Maybe that's
is
why
cool,
the
but like,
Windows 11. You know how Windows 11 only runs on a virtual machine right now?
mhm.
Maybe that's why it was meant to run on ARM, and then they just created a little code on it so it could run in a virtual environment.
Yeah, maybe. But who
Because I
knows?
mean, maybe that's what Windows 11 is gonna be is ARM. That would be
But
interesting.
the crazy thing that makes me think about all this is just like, who would have known that the future of computing was related to freaking Chromebooks of all things? Why Chromebooks?
I know.
Nobody even
Chromebooks are the
is
future.
there anybody that like, and the thing is, here's one really like just interesting thought that like came to my head a few days ago when I looked at this article, which I'm not sure if you thought about it, Nick, but think about it. You know how like when we were finishing high school, they rolled out Chromebooks to us like in the 10th grade. Yes, we're
Yeah,
both very young.
I got to use them 1 year when I
And
was there.
the thing is that pretty soon we're going to be running, because of like schools rolling out Chromebooks and stuff, we're going to be starting to running into a bunch of generations of kids where Chromebooks are their only computer experience. And that's just a crazy thing to think about.
That is true because they're not going to have dedicated computers that they have to go to the library for to use.
Yeah,
Like
this is going to be what they
this is
know.
their
The kids in 10 years are going to
wow.
be more versed on Chromebooks than they will on a normal Windows system.
That is
They're going to
true.
be more versed on
Or
how
Mac
Android
because
or iOS works and
yeah,
also Chromebook.
yeah.
That's going to be
'Cause
what they're
if it's a public school, they use Chromebooks, and then if it's a private school, they either have more expensive Chromebooks or Mac.
yeah.
There's no school that uses Windows
And
machines.
usually when they did, it was like a bunch of desktops, like a bunch of Dell desktops that
Yeah.
like were connected to a server. And like, as far as I know, a lot of people who are my age like found those to be really clunky,
Oh, absolutely.
which
I mean,
makes sense if you
there's so
like,
many. Yeah, there were so many times that you could mess around with other people too, and I mean, there's plenty of times to where when you're sitting down, you switch the USB ports on the back with the computer next to you, and you're moving your mouse around, and you're moving on the person next to you, and nobody has any idea what's going on.
And
Yeah,
maybe this is a
fun times.
very bold claim to make here, but I have a feeling that Chromebooks are gonna look, or and like ARM-based computing, like the new Macs on ARM and soon to be Windows on ARM, is they're going to be the majority of OSs, and x86 platforms are going to look like to the new generations like DOS looks like to us. You know,
I
to a
don't.
lot of people,
I
maybe
mean,
not to the same extent, but
yeah.
to us, like to most people who were doing computers in the 90s before like graphical Windows was really big, they were doing DOS like nothing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they made the shift to a bunch more like graphical based interfaces in the 90s, making the text based OSs look very archaic to begin with. Oi there, snowflakes. We have Sig Clarkson here on the stream. And like it's not going to be as drastic of a jump, of course. Like it's still a
Yeah.
graphical system, but like just the way it works and like programs being like, being referred to as like apps and like things being in a more app nature and things being on an app store on a PC, like things are going to start looking a lot more like phones on computers than they have ever.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
this is where I bring up my controversial take.
Oh, here we go.
This is where I feel like Microsoft was kind of headed in the right direction with Windows 8, but they didn't nail it.
Oh, absolutely. They
like
they tried, but they were way too far ahead, and they
and
made
they
it
alienated
UI
everybody by
so
trying to make
clean.
everybody like in tablet mode, which tablets are pretty much on their way out at that point, at least in
That's
the
true.
Android space. But iPads are still big. But like
I mean, how many?
another thing that Microsoft was ahead of that like I feel like we'll be seeing a lot more on phones, hopefully, is a desktop mode on the phone. It's pretty much commonplace on most flagships that like Samsung Dex is a thing, and like even on LGs you have Screen Plus. But like a bunch of them have like even Android 10 has like a native desktop mode for many things. But this with the Microsoft Lumia 950 and the 950 XL, they came out with Continuum mode, which was basically a desktop mode. And even though it was underbaked, it was definitely a step in the right direction, just undercooked. What's worse, Stig Clarkson, you do have correct. What's worse is that so many websites are now optimized for tablet with huge buttons and the like. And I can understand the frustration there, but I feel like they're kind of forced to do it now because, like, that's just the way things are going. Pretty soon you won't be able to see these things without it being part of an app. So, at least that's my
True.
prediction.
If
Um,
that's the case, then that means that like the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, whatever it's called, the Apple.
which is exactly why I feel like I'm glad that like Apple and Epic Games are kind of having this like lawsuit now about like
Yeah.
antitrust and stuff because like we could be running into a dangerous situation where like literally one company owns all the app software and media output, which
Yeah.
let me just say a lot of companies already control a good majority of our of our media, but like I'd rather it not be more than it is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that's it for Windows 11. We spent a good majority of our time on that. Let's see.
Good topic.
Let's let's just say today is everybody's fake corporate holiday. It's Amazon Prime Day. And with
Woohoo!
Amazon Prime Day, oh wait, I'll do that segue later. But with Amazon Prime Day, we got everybody asking the real questions, not the questions of what we want to buy for everybody on Prime
No.
Day or what sales
No.
I'm
No.
going to
No.
hit. We're going to be finding out, can we please keep Jeff Bezos in space?
Yes.
So, Nick, would you
I,
like to
I say
elaborate on that?
yes.
Would you like to elaborate on this?
No. Absolutely not.
If we could just keep all of our like bad, like keep all of the CEOs just out in space.
Yeah, any CEO that makes more than like let's see, how much does he make? Oh, $1 billion a year.
Often more. Like the thing
Yeah.
is like, you know,
Jeez.
I mean, hey, all the CEOs they got enough money to just pay some Martian how to live there. I mean, they can pay
That's
all their money
true.
for everything. So, I mean, hey, money means everything. But basically, the background on this is that Jeff Bezos is planning to fly on a rocket on a short flight into space on July 20th from West Texas. And the petition is to keep him in space because what they're saying is billionaires should not exist on Earth or in space, but should they decide the latter, they should stay there. Which let's just say that because Jeff Bezos, we all don't like him. Jeff Bezos bad.
I don't think there's anybody that actually likes someone that rich.
Oh, believe me, there are plenty of Elon Musk stands ready to fight you on that claim.
That is true. Because they're the ones that get us into space, right?
Yeah, no joke. Jeff Bezos bad.
That's a very good face. Anyways.
Let's see. What are we going to hit next? We already talked about the Chromebook. We already talked about why Jeff Bezos is bad. What else do we got here? Oh, this is actually a really. Before we continue on, they did update something recently in Windows 10, and I hate it.
Ah, yes. Circling back around.
So my question is,
why we love Windows.
you see this? It's on everybody's taskbar on Windows 10 now. It's like a crappy like weather widget that isn't even the same resolution as your freaking taskbar. It's notably lower resolution and also like stretched for some reason. So my question to Microsoft is, what is this? Why do we need this? What is this?
I want to know where you got it from saying it's 22 degrees Celsius. Wait, do you have your weather station on Celsius?
Yeah, I actually do. I have everything on like my phone to like my computer on Celsius, and I also have everything on military time also.
Yeah, I understand military time. Celsius is an interesting one.
I've just been setting my phone to Celsius ever since like 2 years ago, so I get more acquainted with it. Because please, I want to live in Canada, but that probably won't happen.
Yeah, Canada needs people right now. I'll tell you that much.
But here's the main question, the main thing we'd like to say here: Microsoft, what is this? And more importantly, why is this?
Why is this? No. You're not asking the real questions now. It's how is this?
Oh, Stig Clarkson. Nope. Canada just extended the borders closure until July 21st. Well, heck.
Oh, I wasn't saying like how fast.
Oh God.
To get over there.
Oh God. Windows Y. Windows.
Canada has a massive worker shortage right now.
Okay, so I just hit a bunch of buttons on my keyboard, and then all of a sudden Microsoft Office showed up, and it looks way different, and I hate it. What is happening? Oh God.
What did you do?
Well, it looks like I broke it again. But we are remembering the most important part here. Jeff Bezos bad. So let's see, what else do we got today?
We've got the 3070 Ti Founders thingamajiggy.
Okay, so NVIDIA released two new GPUs recently, the 3070 Ti and the 3080 Ti. Oh, it's Stick Larson. It took me forever to figure out how to get that stupid weather and news tile off the damn taskbar. How do you do it?
Yeah.
I don't know
I
how to
haven't
do it.
figured it out yet.
Wait, okay, taskbar settings. We're gonna do this on stream, guys. Taskbar settings. Okay. Lock the taskbar. Auto. Okay, small taskbar buttons.
How do I customize taskbars?
Select what icons appear in the taskbar. What? Why isn't it there? What do I do? How do I customize taskbars? You have to right click on the news tile. Let's try that.
Wait, what?
Okay, we turned it off. Okay, so what you do is you go in and you click on the actual weather icon, right?
Okay.
And then where it says news and interests, you can go to that toggle and turn it off.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I love how one of the options is just icon only, which means if it's sunny outside, it just shows like a yellow circle and that's it. Like that's gonna help me.
Like.
It literally just looks like a yellow circle. Thank you, Windows.
What Thunderstorm looks like.
It's just an angry cloud. Oh man.
As a frowny face.
But back to the RTX 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti. Yeah. As per normal, all of them immediately sold out and nobody's able to get them like normal.
Actually, it's even more exciting than that.
Go ahead, Nick.
It's even better. There's only 11 of these cards known to exist right now.
Of the Founders Edition?
Yes.
What?
There is only 11 of them accounted for in all releases.
They're probably just
so
all
not
like...
only the scalpers, right? They tried to get these. They couldn't even get them.
So nobody has this GPU? Like, did the factory just not make them?
They're just not there. They're not. They're nowhere. Nobody has no idea where they are. If there is any.
What?
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist?
It doesn't exist. There's 11 of them.
Well, heck.
There's literally just 11.
Nice.
I don't know about you, but if I had one of those cars, I'd be selling it on eBay right now for $5,000.
Oh, you do it for more than $5,000 at this point. Just ask for 10. Somebody will buy it.
Yeah, do best offer. Somebody offers you $25,000.
Just make it a bid. Start it at $4,000.
Yep, exactly.
And just be like, bidding. We have one of the only 3070 Ti's in existence.
Serial number 1.
Serial number 0.
There is only one of these in existence.
Random weather chat here. Let's go to the National Hurricane Center.
Yes, I did see that on the track.
Back to Heckin Hurricane Night. We have Tropical Storm Claudette that just came off of the North Carolina coast, and when it became actually a tropical system, the first time it was over land. And then it kind of fizzled out a little bit. And then once it was over North Carolina, it became tropical over land again.
How does that make sense?
Where it's just like hurricanes, they don't even need the ocean to be tropical anymore. It's just just do it on land. What? Oh heck.
Oh geez. Okay.
That's not good.
That's more fatal than like 90% of tropical storms. That's more fatal than 90% of hurricanes.
Let's not underestimate how strong hurricanes could be, but...
No, because most hurricanes don't make it to land.
Okay, after some scientific conditioning, we decided that we had to silence Nick forever. But yeah, that's kind of crazy how like these storms, like the air masses over like the U.S. are just so swampy, not swampy, but like just so humid and like so like moisture rich, like that literally they don't even need to be over the ocean to be tropical anymore.
That's insane.
Stick Clarkson 37. Remember, Hurricane Camille in the 1960s caused just as many casualties over Virginia as over the Gulf Coast. And uh, Hurricane Camille is one of the strongest U.S. landfalling hurricanes of all time. At least as far as I know. So, yeah. So, there it goes for Heckin' Hurricane Night.
Yeah.
Let's make Nick really happy, and he'll be able to talk about his favorite game.
It's not my favorite game, but it is a game that I play a lot of.
A lot of.
I have, okay, to
You
give
know-
you perspective,
Oh, God.
the guy that normally does the Heckin' gaming random topic things,
Oh.
Mr. Gamer Man,
Extreme
who's
Gamer.
certified gamer, yes, him. He has like 900 hours in Hoi 4.
Sorry
Right?
for the very loud Xbox logo.
I have 120 hours in Sea of Thieves, so it's not quite there, but I have
Let's
a little
just
bit
say that that's a lot of hours to begin with.
not compared to 900.
So,
Okay. So essentially what's happening is Sea of Thieves is having a giant update, and they're bringing in Pirates of the Caribbean to the actual main storyline of Sea of Thieves.
cool. So, like, pirate shit.
Yeah. They're actually bringing in, like, you'll see here in a minute, to where they actually have Captain Jack Sparrow animated and voiced and everything in the actual game. All his mannerism.
See, look at him right there. There he is.
Yes.
There
Captain
he is.
Jack Spa.
Yes. There we go. That's
He looks fantastic, doesn't he?
so cool. Pirates of the Caribbean. A movie
Yeah.
series I don't remember watching at all.
There's a lot of people that really, really like Pirates of the Caribbean, so might as well bring it up. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I think it's it's one of my favorite games, crossing with one of my favorite movie trilogies. I'm not going to count the last two. The last two can just forget they ever happened. But
Nice.
it's going to be kind of fun because they actually even bring in like Davy Jones and like the Kraken and all that stuff. They'll actually show it in the trailer later on. If you skip through it, you can actually see the Davy Jones ship rise out of the water. It's really cool. But
It's developed by Rare.
yes, that is the developer. Why are you going at quarter speed?
Because the audio sounds really funny.
Oh, that's
All right,
right. I can't hear it.
Alright, so there's some skeleton guy talking about stuff.
Oh, you're almost to the Davy Jones part.
Oh gosh. What's happening?
Oh no, mermaids, ghost pirates, real slow-mo. And don't forget, one Davy Jones, and then there you go, he's Davy Jones.
The audio. Oh god. I love how the freaking bass drop sounds. Sounds like a really bad Atari game. Oh god, I just unplugged my VGA cable. Oh god, no. Come on, come on. You got this. You can have signal. There we go. We have signal now. But yeah, there is Jack Sparrow looking very sad.
Very confused in that one, isn't he?
Let's just do the Windows snipping tool. Take that there. We'll open up Microsoft Paint, copy him in there, do like a crop, and just make him very, very sad.
Headphone Sparrow.
Headphone Sparrow. Just
It's Headphone Sparrow time. Give them some LCD 3s. Perfect. They're planers now. He's frowning because of how heavy they are.
Those are the these are the Nordos cables.
Yes. So they also weigh the weight of the headphones themselves as well. Captain Jack Sparrow's ready to go.
All right. So, do we have any more of your stories or any more on this?
That's about it for me. It's just I wanted to bring it up because it's a fun little thing of Pirates of the Caribbean
and Jack Sparrow being very sad.
Yeah. Whoa. But maybe I'll force you to get Sea of Thieves and we'll play Sea of Thieves one of these Wednesdays.
How about no?
You don't have a choice.
No.
No, we'll force you to play Hoi 4 before that.
No, I don't want to play funny Google Maps game.
No, it's not funny Google Maps game. It's mass genocide Google Maps game.
So, Sony has released their new earbuds, the WF-1000XM4, which every tech YouTuber is being like, couldn't they have found a better name? Meanwhile, they buy freaking washers and dryers that have names they don't even know. But, but I currently have the XM3s, as you can tell right here. They're these fancy little things, and if you look at them, they are quite large. But they did have they were one of the first ones to have noise canceling in earbud. If you look at this real quick, this is kind of how it fits. Kind of.
Do they fit inside when you have your headphones on?
What's that?
Can you put your headphones on with those in?
Maybe. Oh wow, I actually can. But that's only because these ear cups are relatively large because soundstage.
But that's an easy way to where, like, if you wanted to have a private conversation, there's no way anyone would be able to tell.
Just be like, hey, how's it going? But yeah, there's that. But they just did release the newest version, which is significantly smaller. Maybe not way smaller, but they're a lot more form-fitting. They fit a lot better. The case is much smaller, which is one of the biggest failures of the XM3 is that this case is entirely too big. It is almost a third of the size of my phone and considerably thicker, and also bigger than my wallet. But it comes in the normal black or Sony type beige colors. And it has a new V1 processor that is meant to handle the noise canceling in a much more battery efficient and much more accurate way. And also, it has a lot better battery life. It now supports the higher resolution LDAC codec for Android. And also, it has IPX for water resistance, so if you get caught in a light rain, you're not going to have your earbuds fry. And
that's preferable, that's for sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like these would be fine in a light drizzle too, but just like don't do it repeatedly.
If you accidentally go swimming with them on.
I wouldn't go swimming with these, but why would you want to
Yeah.
go swimming with earbuds to begin with?
It blocks out the water from getting in your ears, and you can listen to music at the same time as you're drowning.
So essentially, what you're saying is it makes it so you can listen to Beats headphones anywhere you go by making your headphones sound like towels, by making them underwater.
Yes.
But yeah, the thing about these earbuds though is that the original XM3s I think retailed at the beginning for like $239. These ones are a bit more expensive at about almost $300, which is very pricey. But considering that the AirPods Pros are usually around 250, I feel like it's justifiable for the build quality.
Yeah. I
And
would I would
and it's
say
Sony. It's
once they
pretty
reach
pretty
yeah,
foolproof.
once they reach $220, that's like gonna be a golden spot for those.
Yeah, no joke.
They will drop. That's just the what most
I thought that these wouldn't drop though, and then they eventually did like a few months ago, and that's why I picked these up.
yeah.
They were like almost half the price. It was pretty good.
Right now you can buy them renewed, um, which is like factory refurbished for like $80 because of the
They're
Prime Days.
they're actually still selling the XM3s for these, like the previous generation, and they're going for $100 less than the XM4s. So essentially 50 below what their original price was.
With the Prime Day sale, they're going for 145.
Okay. For what I've seen for the frequency response of these earbuds, not much of it is out, but it seems like these new earbuds get rid of a bit of the mid bass bloat that these have without EQ, but they seem to have a lot less treble. They seem to
Ooh,
maybe not a lot, but like just it's definitely noticeable.
maybe the quality makes up for it.
Maybe it is, and they did say that they redid the driver and put in stronger magnets. And usually, when it
Okay.
comes to these consumer earbuds, like having EQ definitely fixes a lot. Like
Yes.
EQ makes these an okay wireless earbud to something that's better than my wired IEMs. But then again, these ones are pretty crappy wired IEMs. But I mean, considering that they're even in the talking to begin with, I'm actually pretty happy with. But speaking of other earbuds, Beats. You thought Beats by Dr. Dre were dead because they stopped advertising them, but they're back as the Beats Studio Buds. They're essentially noise canceling earbuds with the Beats branding that are actually more Android compatible than most Apple products, and they're $150.
But they're made by Apple,
Yeah,
and they're more What?
and it's just really funny that like all of the tech news people are just like, oh my god, Apple is acknowledging Android.
Yeah,
I love literally like with WWDC, like Apple's event that they did for like their developers, is that like literally a week ago we were talking about them being like, oh, Android users can finally use FaceTime. And then you look at it and it's literally you have to join their FaceTime call with a link that someone who's already in a FaceTime call gives you, and then you can join with your browser. I'm not even joking. You can
what?
they're literally like they're giving you access to a FaceTime call, but they're just like, here, you can have it in the worst iteration possible.
Okay then.
And it just makes me kind of angry because it's just like with Apple, like especially like Tim Cook and the CEO and all those like people like who are running Apple, they're always just like, oh, security, security. Oh, we're all worried about security. When like, I don't know if I can trust them with security.
I know.
I mean, I feel like they're no better than any other company in my eyes. I mean, at least they talk about it more, but that's about it. But
I
yeah,
found something really funny, and I just need to share this with you.
I'll go right ahead.
It's going to be in Heckin Tech Night chat. Let's just show you what. Tell me what's wrong with this picture.
Okay, so we're gonna open this image. Why is that like the biohazard thing? Or
No,
the
that's
nuclear?
not
No,
biohazard.
wait, never mind. That's the nuclear.
That's a radioactive symbol.
Oh god.
Someone mixed up the biological symbol with the radioactive symbol.
Freaking coronavirus is not even contagious, it's radioactive.
It's literally, I saw an advertisement for a filter for saying that it keeps out COVID, and it goes, it prevents virus carriers, and it gives a radioactive symbol.
Hey
It's
guys,
like,
you start using them at the nuclear plants. It prevents radiation from ever happening.
exactly. It doesn't even happen in the first place.
And someone has it, just prevents it.
Exactly.
But here's with these Beats Studio Buds, like these earbuds that are by Beats. First of all, that has a pocket friendly container, even though it's the biggest one here. It definitely is nicer. And also, this is the crazy thing. You know how with most earbuds, like with pairing nowadays, to do seamless pairing, they usually just like you have them, open them, and you put them by the phone. It's just like, would you like to pair with these buds? And like Apple kind of pioneered that with the AirPods, but they're doing that on Android with the Beats Studio Buds, and there actually is an app, which is something that I can't say for AirPods on Android,
That's true.
which is just crazy.
Impressive. That's really
Uh,
cool.
let's see.
Not something I'd be interested in buying, but it's something that glad they're not leaving out 70% of the population.
It's just one thing that I find interesting about like especially consumer headphone reviews on like the internet is that like they always focus on features first and then get to the sound, and mainly when they describe the sound they're just like the treble is very clear and the bass is powerful and the mids are very clear. Like they give these so vague like descriptions that like they mean nothing.
Yep.
Like I'm not
And the
I'm not
one thing I
exactly.
always hate about the way that most companies do it, right? With
Mhm.
the actual way they describe bass is they always say it's really punchy, it's boomy, it's room filling. Like that's what apparently people want,
Which
but it's like
like if some people want
that's
that, then that's fine. But like the thing is that like I don't know. Like I don't understand why people have such this fixation on bass.
it tends to just be overwhelming. You know, it's like it's they that's what they're used to, I guess. Like people put subwoofers in their car and they don't add other speakers. They just add subwoofers. It's like, oh, the more subwoofers you add, it makes it louder. And you know what? It's probably that perception of loudness makes things more, I guess, better, you know?
Yeah,
Because
but
that's kind of one of those things that you run into is
mhm.
the louder something is, you think it's better.
Yeah, but like one thing is that like especially with bass, they associate bass at least to people that I've talked to or people that I've seen interviewed on this is that like essentially bass is usually attached to a really visceral feeling where you feel the bass. And like they usually get this feeling from like, say one example, like a school homecoming dance where like the DJ has these really crappy speakers that have all the bass and like, it's just so loud that you feel it. Like that's what a lot of people associate with bass, just that visceral like actual feeling of it, which I mean you're not going to get that through a headphone, but like you get the sound of it. And that's what a lot of people I feel like are looking for kind of. And also a lot of people when it comes to audio quality, let's be honest, they don't care.
No, really
And
people are just gonna sing along to it, or they just want
yeah,
to
or people are just gonna
hear.
just listen to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't
I
care
could,
about how the sound's being produced.
and definitely us audiophiles are absolutely like, the minority, which we have to. Audiophiles have to find a better name than audiophile because audiophile just sounds bad. Like
We're
literally,
music. In reality, me and you are more music files than audio files.
but just the
Just
file suffix to begin with. Like just like I feel like when I talk about like me getting various headphones and all that stuff, like when I say to them like, oh, I'm an audiophile, I care about audio quality a lot. Like to many people, it just kind of makes me seem like a pretentious, ass. But like, but like when I refer to myself as like a headphone collector, for some reason it makes a lot more sense to people, which I don't understand why, but like it's just interesting. Like,
probably because it's along the same lines of like models or things like that. Like, people like building models and they put them together, paint them. It's like at the end they have a model, so they collect their models that they make, or they buy them from other places. It's like that's what they have.
mm,
So and some people collect computer parts, some people collect other, like whatever it is. Or you have something that you use, you enjoy having, so you collect it, right?
mm,
Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, whatever they are. Um, so therefore you got them, and then when you start collecting stuff like that, I guess people start they realize that hey, that's what you see as a passion. When you collect something, you see it more as a passion. When you use something on a daily basis, and like we have all these different headphones that we use really commonly because we like hearing things in different ways. People don't understand that because they don't hear what we hear without specifically looking at it for a very long period of time.
yeah,
Because it takes a long
necessarily.
time to become an audiophile.
A lot of people like when we talk about like the extra detail and stuff, unless it's really noticeable, they don't really notice it because like usually you kind of have to have a trained ear. Now, I'm not saying that audiophiles are just better than other people, they're not, but like I know a lot of people who are audiophiles who are very closed minded and don't like to let people into the hobby, but um but basically it's just like we're looking for that extra detail, but like a lot of people are just looking for the music, not exactly the audio quality itself.
Yeah. And I think there is a little bit of both in there. When you're an audiophile, I think you're looking for that better music, right? I mean, you're looking for those details that you don't hear, and it makes the song more enjoyable. When you listen to it, you can kick back and listen to a song that's different every single time you listen to it. When you hear more and more details, because when you have something so detailed or you have something so different every single time you listen to it, it's a new experience. You're not listening to it on the same $20 headphones. Jump in your car with that has like 4 speakers in it. It sounds exactly the same. You're not going to hear anything new. It's going to sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
So what's to them? There's not going to be a difference. Then you put something on their head, and they're not going to be able to interpret something like that. It took me upwards of 2, 3, 4 years before I began really noticing things. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I have the Sennheiser 598s, right? That's the
Yeah.
ones I had for a long time. And that's what really got me into liking sound. But it took a long time of me having those before I really began noticing anything.
Yeah,
Like it's
and
just not immediate.
for me, I my first headphone that I really got was the Sony MDR7506, and that kind of leads me to like another just interesting tidbit is that like I don't understand why a lot of headphones that are like marketed for like studio usage or professional, I don't understand why a lot of them always have to have just nasty treble.
I
Like I
think
don't
because
under
they're all EQ'd, right?
like
Everything that studio uses EQ'd.
but like the
So
thing is it's like for just amateur studio people like or amateur like or just like home musicians, they're not going to EQ their stuff. So like the thing is that like I feel like for some reason because of the marketing they have attributed lots and lots of treble to a quote unquote studio sound. And with which has made it so people inaccurately attribute like treble to extra detail, or being able to hear mistakes in the music, which, like, of course, if you boost the treble to high heaven, then of course, then like you're gonna get
Yeah,
that.
you're gonna
But
hear
like,
weird things, but
I
yeah.
mean, both of us are wearing T1s right now. To most people, those are treble hell.
That is very true. Yeah.
But
Especially the second gens because they're much wider on the treble peak
and like the
than
thing is
the
that
T
with your
first gens.
with your second gens, they're more of a peak. For me, they're more of just like a full, just on section that's elevated.
Yeah, exactly.
But on to some more audio stuff. So I remember a few Heckin' Tech nights ago, we were talking about Apple Music releasing lossless audio and their spatial audio. And it turns out about 2 weeks ago, they actually rolled it out. And a lot of
Awesome.
people are talking about the spatial audio. And like a lot of people are kind of like, oh, it's not that great. But like some audio files I've like followed on Twitter, they're just like, oh, it's not that great. And then they were like talking about it, them using it on the AirPod Maxes. And then they're like, oh, wait, I literally tried this on any other headphone, and it's actually pretty cool. What is going on, Nick? I don't like. What is happening over there? Are you okay? What is happening?
I broke something.
Oh no. Oh no. Should I cut to intermission? Oh no. So it turns
Oh,
out Nick noped out of existence for a second, and I had to retrieve him back using the power of the internet, and it looks like Nick actually survived.
yeah, I got pulled out of the dark web, thankfully.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
It was.
But back to what I was talking about, Apple actually released their spatial audio and lossless streaming, and I think that's cool. And I looked at some audiophile blogs about like the lossless streaming, and it is pretty legit. It doesn't seem. I've heard claims though that's not exactly bit perfect because like Apple's doing some proprietary like DRMing where they're just like making sure like how like copyright protection and all that, like, so it seems like I saw like a report, not a report, but like a forum user where they were just like, yeah, I have this DAC where like it turns on a certain light or like turns on a certain mode when something is bit perfect to what the original recording was. And it's off when like I'm playing MP3s, but like when I'm playing bit perfectly flax and stuff, it stays on during the entirety of the song. But he noticed that with Apple Music's lossless, is that it would be on for the first 2 seconds and then like turn off. Which, I mean, I still have reason to believe that it's like
Interesting.
lossless record, like lossless music is still definitely a dip better than what Tidal is doing with like MQA and just literally just ruining the audio file. But it seems like they seem to be offsetting something in the audio files to like protect from like piracy. But with spatial audio, it's just kind of interesting how that's rolled out because a lot of people are just kind of like, it's really cool, but sometimes. But I think the way that they're doing it is a lot better than a lot of 360-degree audio like attempts that have been made because like instead of like just making a crazy 360 audio, they're having people essentially mix their songs in Dolby Atmos, which I think is a really interesting idea.
Hey, I'm turning on Drac. Okay, you're now in 3D.
Oh god.
Oh god, you're really far away.
So Nick has turned on his 3D effect on his headphones.
Yes, there's a on my amp. There's this thing on the DAC. It's a proprietary DAC thing. It makes it sound like you're like 4 feet in front of me right now. It's
Nice.
real freaky.
Ooh. So,
Yeah.
on the last 15 minutes of Hack and Tech Night here, we are going to go ahead and kind of do speed round for the last few stories. So, kind of continuing on our Apple kind of binge here with our stories. Turns out there is a certain thing that you can type into the SSID for connecting to a Wi-Fi network on your iPhone that will literally brick your internet connection to any Wi-Fi network ever again on the iPhone.
Wait, what
Yeah,
now?
literally, if they literally type in the SSID %P or %S%N, if they type that into their SSID and connect, it'll brick their Wi-Fi for the rest of time. And
So
you
that's how.
changing the
So that's how you say
SSID
you're.
and also rebooting does not fix it. You just brick your
What?
internet.
So it locks you
And
out of
also
that internet forever?
just no Wi-Fi usage.
Yeah, I was
Night.
gonna say name your SSID if you don't have any iPhone. If you have
It's
no iPhone on your Wi-Fi, just set it to that, and there you go. You don't have to worry about iPhone.
you see this like it didn't take long for trolls to necessarily like take advantage of this here, so it's just like, hey, tip for iPhone users: if you want faster Wi-Fi, type this in your SSID.
Oh my god. So does that lock out all Wi-Fi networks?
I don't
How does that?
know. Let's see.
Because that's like scary.
Okay, a quick analysis of the bug by an outside researcher agreed that it isn't likely that the bug could be exploited to execute malicious code. So it's not malware, but what they concluded is that the analysis also found that the bug appears to stem from a flaw in an iOS logging component that uses some sort of function to effectively convert SSID strings into a format string before writing it to a log file. So,
Oh.
as Dr. Yuat said, iPhone is dead. Wait, give me a second. 1 second.
We can see what you're doing.
I know. That's exactly what I want to do. Where is it? iPhone is dead.
Good enough.
Rip iPhone. And that's how I'm gonna get DMCA takedown from the Twitch. DMCA time, heck yeah. Watch that part of the stream get muted.
I did. Oh, I
All
watched it. I'm like, okay, at least I want to remember this.
right. Okay, not all researchers have reached the same assessment for this bug. It says researchers from security firm AirEye, for instance, said that the technique could be used to bypass security appliances that sit at the perimeter of a network to block unauthorized data from entering or exiting. And it also seems that macOS is affected by the same bug.
Whoa.
So
That would be crazy.
So-
It's like, oh, time to log in with my Mac. Oh, I can't join Wi-Fi anymore.
Apple is dead. Give me a second. Let me find one that's going to be DMCA compliant. Oh, this is going to work just fine. This is Crab Brave, right?
Let's see. Sure.
All right. Speaking of bugs and hacks, would you like a data breach with that? McDonald's hit by hackers. So, employee and customer personal information was accessed in South Korea and Taiwan. So,
Would you want a Big Mac with that?
would you like the Big Mac meal including some malware?
Do
But
you want
yeah,
us taking your financial information as well as your credit card?
so external consultants working for the world's largest restaurant chain confirmed that. Oh God, I do not want to save this webpage, please. So they confirmed that unauthorized activity had been discovered on the company's systems in South Korea and Taiwan. So in both cases, the hackers gained access to employee and customer personal information. My question is, if you think about it, how in the world did they get data from McDonald's? But then you think about it, what about the McDonald's apps that makes you sign in with an email and stuff? Think
No
about it.
way.
I don't know. It's just a
Yeah, because there
hunch.
has to be data centers for that. Oh God.
Which
And that's
makes
why
you
you don't
think.
use apps.
And that just makes you think, like, could that happen in the US?
Well, of course. Anything can happen in the US.
He's like, I had like a quarter pounder deluxe of just spyware.
Give me a 2.5 pound burger with lettuce, tomato, and no buns, but actually I'll just have the burger and some
Nice.
malware on it.
But here's another crazy story, and this is our second last story. Graphics card graphics card shortages are so bad. MSI has launched a brand new card with the GeForce GT 730 chipset. Now, most non-gamer people will be like, "What is that?" If you look down, this is a graphics card that released in 2013, and it isn't even
This was never top of the line
this is
at
like a
any point in
mid-tier
time.
card. This
No,
is like
not
a
even mid-tier when it launched.
It's like a basic tier like card from 2013 that they're
Yes.
re-releasing as new because the silicon shortage is so bad.
This is the type of card that you would put inside your computer when the Intel integrated graphics went bad. This is the type of card you would use for that.
And literally, this is so crazy, and this is going to be even crazy if Stick Clarkson 37 is still on the chat. It's such a bad GPU relatively that even Stig Clarkson 37's GPU is better than this because he has a 750 Ti, and I know
that's
that.
right. Yeah, he does.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it has, get this, PCIe 2.0 and also 2 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM.
Whoa, it's not even like
Whoa.
a GDDR. Just straight
Just DDR3. Just have your RAM be faster than your graphics card. It's pretty casual. Now here is the last story that we're going to go over tonight, and this is actually perhaps our most interesting. And it brings up a very specific debate on how the internet shall be used in the future. So,
Oh no.
the amazing, memeable state of Ohio has sued Google, seeking to declare the internet company a public utility. So, this is their claim here that Google uses its dominance of internet search to steer Ohioans to Google's own products, which is discriminatory and anti-competitive. When you own the railroad or the electric company or the cell phone tower, you have to treat everyone the same and give everybody access. And I feel like Ohio, despite my many disagreements with how their state government does things, I think they're doing something right here. I think that Google and a lot of tech companies have gotten sort of monopolistic with their products and their services, and Google is so ubiquitous to everything in the internet that it probably should be regulated like a public utility.
Yeah.
Like it
That's
is,
actually
to be honest, in the modern age, it is just as essential, in my opinion, as like, any of the other things you pay as utilities.
Oh yeah.
It is something
even like the internet itself you're paying for as a utility. Why isn't things on the internet considered a utility?
and it says
That kind of
specifically
makes sense.
the lawsuit seeks a legal declaration that Google is a common carrier, like phone, gas, and electric companies, which must provide its services to anyone willing to pay its fee. In lieu of a fee, one of the senators or representatives argues in the complaint, Google collects user data that is monetized primarily by selling targeted advertisements. So this kind of goes at the core of a lot of corporate internet where a lot of the profit is made off of targeted ads, which I think is
Yeah,
interesting.
it is.
And it says Google, they're saying Google, it disadvantages businesses and consumers by ranking its own services above competitors.
That
So
is true.
I definitely feel like there is something to be said here. I think this, even if this lawsuit doesn't go far, I think this is actually a very interesting, you know,
I mean,
way to go about
this
it.
lawsuit has the potential, right? It has the potential, right? Just small chance, but it's there. It has the potential to go all the way to the federal government.
Yeah, and even if this is like something that doesn't go far, at least the idea is kind of out there. I think it's
That's
actually an
true.
interesting way. And here is Google's rebuttal of the statement. It says, Google said, Ohioans simply don't want the government to run Google like a gas or electric company. This lawsuit has no basis in fact or law and will defend ourselves against it in court. So basically, all Google said was, no,
We
you're
know better
wrong.
than
See,
we
we're
know
going to tell you you're
better
wrong.
than what the actual population wants. That's what I just heard. We know better than you actually want. We know what you want, so we're gonna give you what you want.
Which, to be honest, sounds like an Apple move.
It
Let's
is
be
very
honest here.
true.
Sounds like an Apple move.
That is very much an Apple move. Very much so.
So yeah, let's see. This is the actual lawsuit that's been filed here. It is quite long at 17 pages. Welcome to Heckin Law Night.
Oh no.
And here's a claim that's actually really, really like actually true here. It says Google dominates internet search globally and domestically. Nearly 90% of all internet searches are conducted through Google. Google's dominance continues to trend upwards, particularly on mobile devices, where Google's internet search share is near 95% or more, which is a crazy amount considering the
Wow.
billions of phones that have been sold. Like literally they own all searching, nearly all searching amongst all of us.
Yeah.
And what
I
Ohio
mean,
is
even
saying,
you, right? Even you switched over to Edge now, right?
yeah, and
As your main browser? Because
yeah,
that's technically Chromium
yeah,
based.
Edge is Chromium based now. So this is technically a Google service as a browser now. Like
Yeah.
it's getting harder and harder to avoid Google services. And they should be regulated as something that is just a service because everyone has to use it. It's almost as ubiquitous as everybody needing power or everybody needing water. Maybe not nearly as much, but like, I mean, it's not like you're gonna die if you don't have Google, but like, seriously, it's becoming so important in our society that I feel like it should be regulated as such. And we are kind of in like a in an age of technological and media monopoly. And
Yeah, and the law has not been keeping up with how fast the tech companies are able to grow.
yeah, and like
That's sort of where all that has happened.
the thing is that's really difficult for a lot of these lawmakers is that a lot of them are very old and a lot of them have not spent a good majority of their life near a computer. And a lot of like internet stuff that are over like regulations and things, like a lot of those like laws were written like 20 years ago and a lot of them aren't really updated, like especially like the Digital Millennium Copyright Act or DMCA like we were talking about. Like that was ratified in like 1998 and has not been
It's
updated to account for how copyright and like fair usage works on the internet now. And like it's not like
it's
you're going to
true.
get things to change because like how are you going to explain to your 70-year-old politician that this thing needs to change about a computer when computers weren't even really a thing like to him like 40 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even my parents, and they're in their, well, my dad's 60 now, but um, I mean, he remembers when computers came out, like actually came out to the public. Think about that.
Hmm.
That's insane. That's
So
like
sadly, I don't
computers
think
haven't been around that long.
I don't think we'll see a lot of change in this aspect, but like it's something that desperately needs to be looked at.
Oh, absolutely. And I would say it's going to take at least 15 to 20 years before it actually comes
Yeah,
around.
once we start
'Cause
getting like
that's,
more millennials in Congress and stuff,
yeah,
people who
which,
actually grew up with the majority of their life with a technological device in their home.
yeah, which could also, there would be certain advantages, of course, and then there's certain changes that we're going to have to adjust for because of all
Mhm.
the changes that happened in the past. And
Yeah,
it's going to be, I expect the next 20 years to be a massive change in law in
and
terms
it's going to
of
be interesting too
technological revolution finally catching up.
because not even do we have to worry about technological law, we have to necessarily worry about all these companies trying to put all of their tech stuff in every single facet of our life. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to get away from anything technological these days, and you're always surrounded by some sort of Google or Microsoft or Facebook service or Amazon or like, you see what I mean? Like it's getting to a point where you can't avoid them and you almost have to use them. So you know, also not only is, tech monopoly being a concern, it's also a concern that, you know, privacy is kind of getting neglected, and
Oh, very much so.
that's another reason why I'm kind of wary about like all of Apple's claims about like, oh, we care about privacy, but do you really? Because to be honest, you make a lot of money by sacrificing consumer privacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they're
You
one of the few companies that doesn't sell user information,
like it's to the point now
but
where how like
who
everybody
knows?
jokes around about like, oh, the other day I was talking about wanting a new pair of shoes, and later on that day I saw a bunch of Google ads for shoes. It's almost as if they were listening to me. Like, have you ever noticed how much more normal that's become? Like, don't you
I
realize
know.
how scary that is?
Yeah, it's like they're always just listening.
Like, this is
But
normal here. Like, for me to be on Twitch, I choose to be out there and broadcast myself and like, give up a bit of that liberty so I can actually like, be out on the internet and stream, you know what I mean? But like when it comes to everyday things, like you almost got to worry like, is everything listening to you? Is there a way to shut it off? You know what I mean? And I feel like
I mean,
privacy is getting massively neglected.
a good example of that is like my Note 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
My Note 9 actually comes pre-installed with Facebook installed on it. It's actually pre-installed on the
Really?
phone when you get it. You cannot uninstall Facebook on my phone. You can sign out, but you cannot uninstall it. You
Really?
can disable the app,
I
but
never knew that.
Samsung does not allow you to turn off Facebook, like
Like
fully uninstall it.
that's like some sort of like tech shit that should be illegal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, because you know how terrible Facebook's track record is for security. Like every time
yeah.
there's some sort of data breach, and they're always grabbing every single bit of data for you from you. That's why, like, if you have the choice on a phone, I never, ever, ever use the app, ever.
And that also
If
comes
I
back to
have
right
to,
to repair a little bit too, because
yeah,
I have the right to repair my phone from potential viruses,
mm-hmm.
right? And this comes back to like Tesla. Like Tesla, you're not allowed to modify your car. If you do, they lock you out, and your car becomes a dead pile of batteries.
Yeah, and like
Like,
the thing
like
is,
iPhone, you can't do anything.
the thing that's frustrating is that like literally all of these companies are trying to force this narrative of like we're not going to let you fix it because we can fix it better, even though they're literally just trying to make it so you buy more product. And
Exactly. There's more e-waste, which just
which is bad for the environment. Like there needs to be some sort of like kind of like crossroads like amongst politicians, amongst everyone who's tech savvy, and amongst all these corporations, and also among us. So I mean, something has to be done. honestly, or else, you know, our privacy is going to be looking a little bit sussy. God, I hate myself.
I'm just gonna go live in the woods for the rest of my life. I'll be perfectly happy with that. If I buy a little house on a stream, fish for food for a living, and that's it. I'll be happy.
Oh yeah, you'll be happy until you find out that the environment's gotten so bad that all the fish are poisoned and you can't eat them.
That's why I'll go to Montana. Nobody lives there, and it's too cold. It's too cold
and
right
then
now.
and then Yellowstone blows up. What are you gonna do, Nick?
Oh, I'll be perfectly happy because I'll be the first one to die.
Jesus. And with that, that is a very morbid ending to Heckin' Tech Night. And a goodbye from Nick and a goodbye from me, and we'll see you guys later on the next Heckin' Tech Night.
Bye.
Don't die, please.
Yes, please do not die. Bad
because
idea.
Because it's not good, and like
Unless it's Yellowstone, then it could be a good idea.
See you guys next time.
Bye.